Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be continuing to look at what if civilization started over. We are on episode 17 of this series, and in the last episode we saw the beginning of the Dark Ages as things are happening all across, more particularly Europe, where this happened in Ireland, and it's now like, yeah, you don't want to be here. And from here, other stuff happened, but can I remember it? No, it's been a second since I recorded. I think stuff happened over here in this Russian region, and as well as that, we saw stuff happening over in India, the Philippines that happened, Africa stuff happened. Yeah, quite a bit happened, and now we're gonna continue to be looking at this scenario. And I do want to say before we start that I have been trying to do these videos all in one take, so yeah, it spends less time that I have to do making edits to this video, and it allows me to record more videos, which is honestly just more fun, and yeah, I like recording. So yeah, let's jump right on into this. Now let's start off over here in kind of the cradle of civilization, Mesopotamia, because something bad will be happening here. The red team is they're really old and they don't really have anything going for them anymore. The country is kind of in a free fall, and this will be heavily sped up as we head on over to this dark greenish Azeri country because they're going to launch an invasion into the red team. Azeri forces will very quickly move into this mountainous region here, invading into. Actually, is this mountainous? I think it is. It's like northern Persia, I think. But yeah, we're gonna see the Azeris quickly occupying all this land here, and from here they're basically gonna force a peace deal out of the red team, which is kind of humiliating because this thing is a lot smaller than you, and like, yeah, this thing should not have been able to take you on. Also, what's going on? I always have to adjust everything, and I forget to before recording videos, so everything looks weird. But yeah, we're going to see this territory up in the north being lost by the red team. So they're going to kind of just begin to fall apart because the whole country doesn't believe they're competent to do anything. The first region that will break away will be over here by the Egyptian country, as we're going to see a dark purplish country breaking away in this kind of. I don't know what this region's really called, and I'm struggling to draw borders in it, apparently, but yeah, we're going to see a country breaking away over here in this region here, which is kind of like a Syria, Lebanon-ish, Jordan area. It's a weird area to define, but we're going to see a country formulating over there. From here, we head on up to the north, where we're going to see this brownish country here going ahead and expanding southward into this region here. Not much of an expansion in the grand scheme of things, but this country, given their size, it is a pretty big expansion. And from here, we're going to see this thing kind of just falling into multiple pieces. The next country that will be breaking away will be in the southern region. It's going to take on this bluish kind of color. And yeah, it's going to be kind of a desert state. I don't really know again what this region looks like. So it might just be like a piece of just nothing is here. And yeah, I want to know. From here, we're going to see one last country, and I'm struggling to find a color for it. I always do, but I think I'm going to settle on this kind of color here, which it kind of looks nice, but it also kind of looks out of place here. Let me know. I might change it. And yeah, with this, the red team is tiny, like really tiny. And these countries will be getting their capitals. And yeah. I am on the wrong layer. Great. Anyways, the Syrian country will get theirs in Lebanon. This desert country will get theirs right there. This guy will get theirs on the coastline. And that will actually do it for these guys for now. Actually, I'm gonna recolor this guy now because I don't like this color. I'm gonna do like no, kind of like uh, it's a weird color to do. I think I'm gonna go with something like I don't want it to be that blue. Maybe like that. I feel like I'm going to roll with that for now. Anyways, from here, we're going to head on over to this region over here, where this brown country is like very tiny. It's barely a civilization. And from here, it's kind of just gonna get partitioned. The orange country will kind of just move in and say this area that we are occupying is now a part of us. Then we're going to see the pink team doing the exact same thing with this kind of southern region here. And then the green team will kind of do that with a teensy bit of the land here. And finally, that leaves the blue team to take the rest of it, which effectively gets rid of this thing from existence. And yeah, sorry if that was your favorite country. It was never going to last. And from here, we can actually add a major city to the map for once. That never happens, but I mean, it's never a good thing when it happens because I have to do it in the middle of the video and also have to erase a capital, which takes some time, as you can see. But there we go. And now to disable the layer. I'm trying to make sure I don't lose any of these major cities to time because it'd be great to have them once the major cities are actually relevant. But now we're going to head away from this area and right on over to the British Isles, where we're going to see a whole bunch of war and conflict happening. More particularly, we're heading on over to the Welsh countries, where we're going to see this light blue country going to war with the pink country. It's pretty back and forth at first, but eventually the light blue country will gain an upper hand and will push down through this region here. From here, they're just going to squeeze this thing to death. And at this point, there's really no, like, stopping the full annexation of this, so they're kind of just gonna fully annex it without any punishment. So, yeah, good on you, Northern Welsh country. From here, though, we're gonna head on over to Ireland because this thing is about to become a bloodbath. Great. Anyways, from here, we're gonna see the Cyanish thing getting conquered by this neighbor thing. That country was on a downfall, and this country, which I think gained its independence from the Cyan thing, is gonna take it over. But from here, we're gonna see more war happening, as this goldish kind of colored country will take out the brown country, and from here, we're gonna see this red country taking out this light greenish country. In the north, we're gonna see that the goldish team here will wipe out this guy, and the green team will wipe out this red thing. And from here, that's actually all we're going to see happening in Ireland for now, because Ireland is kind of irrelevant to where we are in the series. I mean, it's just like the Daily Britain update, but not really. Anyways, from here, we head on over to Russia, or kind of Russia. It's weird. It's like maybe Russia, where we're going to see something happening. And that is a revolution from deep within the country. And this is pretty bad for the country because they are not built to withstand a revolution. So yeah, when it kind of just happens, the government's gonna kind of just be like, okay, you can have your independence, and the government's kind of just gonna fall back to the areas that are still somewhat loyal to them. Over here, I'm struggling to make borders. These borders look weird, but I think I'm gonna roll with this. So now we have this thing, and this thing will kind of just unite with this guy. It's a weird thing that happens, but eventually that is what's gonna happen. And from here, we're gonna see more countries taking advantage of this new Russian country. First of all, the pink team. Yeah, the only really obvious one. They're gonna take over some territory in the south here that they had maybe had some claims over in the past. And that's actually it. Nobody else really cares. Huh. From here, we are going to leave this region because we're heading on down to Africa. Yeah, we've been talking about this region a lot recently. But that is because we have this region to divide here. It's been bothering me, so let's figure this out. And yeah, it's pretty straightforward actually, because the borders I created here were kind of meant to be temporary, and now that they have served their purpose, we can go ahead and actually make borders which function. And so that's going to be exactly what I'm doing here. And yeah, the Ethiopian Somalian country kind of thing will annex all this land here into this mainland kind of border I've created here. And from here, this Eritrean country will annex this small bit of land here. They're a lot thicker than Eritrea in our timeline, but Who cares? And from here, that's actually all. Nothing else happens in this region for now, because we're heading on over to this region where barely anything happens, but we're gonna see that this orange country is going to expand pretty far northward, because at this point, they're probably one of the strongest countries in the region. I feel like I should talk about this region more, but I honestly don't really know what to do with it. From here, we head on over to the Senegalese country, which will have a very similar kind of change that I'm enacting here. I just don't really know what to do with them, so I'm kind of just doing whatever I can think of on the spot with them, which is just expanding their borders out. But from here, we're gonna see the formation of a brand new state. In this new state, they can be like this yellow color. They're gonna be a pretty vast country. They're gonna encompass a lot of the area bordering these states over here, and they're going to push out into the middle of the Sahara. And the whole purpose I'm creating this country is actually for something that I've been meaning to implement for quite a while now. And that is none other than trade routes. And trade routes, they haven't been mentioned, I don't think once. But now we get to talk about them, and that's kind of gonna be the main premise of this video. But yeah, we need to talk about trade routes because guess what? The Silk Road's probably about to be created in one of the next few episodes, so we gotta get this down now. Anyways, from here, we're gonna start off over here in Europe because the trade routes are pretty simple here. Starting off over here in Iberia, the trade routes will flow through all of the capitals of these countries, and it's gonna kind of just become a circle around Iberia, and it's also gonna have the attachment like right under the mountains here. And yeah, that's it for the Iberian area. And from here, it's going to head up to the capital of the French country, then to the capital of Brittany. And that's kind of an offshoot because it also goes all the way up to the Dutch capital here. From here, we're going to head back down because this route here is going to travel through the southern region and eventually through this capital here. From here, it splits off into Venice and also into the capital of Rome. And from here, it's not going to go any further south. And instead, it's going to follow the Mediterranean Adriatic Sea countries into Greece. As well as that, they're going to flow on over into Bulgaria and the Romanian kind of country here. At this point, it links up with the Crimean country, who also has a route that's being built over this way. From here, we get to talk about this route up here because it doesn't really go anywhere much other than the two major cities in the former Polish countries. But other than that, there's not much really going on with that trade route. From here, though, we have another little attachment, and that is the attachment into Anatolia, where we're going to see this connecting up here. Time to enable major cities, because it's going to flow right through this major city up here, and eventually through the coastline in the Caucasian area. From here, it splits off to this guy, and also it goes along the southern coast of Anatolia to many of these cities until it inevitably reaches Egypt. From here, it also moves into the city, and of course, into the core Mesopotamian area, where it kind of just flows along the river valley over here. As well as that, it's going to kind of just begin to flow down into these major cities here as I just do this. And yeah, I don't feel like there's much explanation that needs to be made. This thing's just gonna kind of go all the way around the Arabian Peninsula, and eventually it's gonna circle back where this is now the map of the Arabian trade route we're looking at. From here, we head on over to Africa, where it's gonna split into two. The first route, we're gonna see it crossing North Africa and going through all of these countries all the way till it makes its way over to the Moroccan country here, and it's not meant to go into the sea. That's not what it's meant to look like. It's meant to look something like this, and it's kind of hard to repair, but I'm trying. And from here, it's not going to expand anywhere south because there's going to be a new trade route being constructed for that, which we'll see here in a second. But first, the trade route in the Eastern African area, it's only going to make its way down to the capital of Eritrea. And that is actually all the trade routes in Africa, because these guys, they're kind of just close enough to where they can kind of just move wherever they want. And they don't see a purpose in trade routes, at least not yet. When it comes to like navally, they definitely will. But from here, it's not really important. But now we head on over to Asia, more particularly South Asia, where we're going to see the area flowing through first this Persian capital, but also it's going to move through the former capital of the Green Team and this Gold country, and eventually into this dark purple country here. From here, it's going to flow into the capital of the Brown Team, and from here, it's kind of just going to bop across India through here. And it's also going to have a small detachment going down into this country here and over here into Bangladesh. At this point, the trade route will make its way into Burma, where it will stop. And another trade route exists over here in Vietnam that connects up to the South Chinese countries, except for this red one, and eventually to the capital of China. From here, this trade route moves on up into the Korean country where it will stop. And that is actually all the trade routes that exist in the world right now. And that's all we're going to talk about them for now. They'll come back up later. But for now, we need to head on over to India, where we're going to see a major event happening because this is like a really dark purple. The really dark purple country will be declaring war on the Indian country here. And by the Indian country here, I mean the brown team. The brown team has existed for a while, and don't get me wrong, they're pretty relevant to the story, but like, I really don't like this color for the region, so I'm just gonna get rid of it. The dark purple country will immediately take its capital, and from here, the people are just done with this thing, so they're just kinda gonna accept their new leader. But at this point, a major event will happen that will begin to shift the balance of power in this region. And this is kind of already being seen because there are now two large Indian states who have united most of what the former Brown team was and a little areas that are outside of where it was. But at this point, these two countries have reached an agreement. And that agreement is to form the Indian Union between the two of them, taking on the color of the dark purple country, or the darker purple country, and also the capital of the darker purple country. Gotta make sure I have this major city, which I do for once. That is rare. But yeah, they're gonna take on the capital of the darker purple country, and this country will also take on the military alliance of the darker purple country. And this thing is probably at this point one of the strongest countries in the world, given that it just formed. And it's gonna probably go on some conquests in the next few episodes. But yeah, this new empire will be the I don't know. It's kind of hard to name empires when the only term I can really use is Indian, when really the Indian Empire was the Brown team. So yeah, it's kind of hard to talk about, but you know what? It will make sense somehow. But yeah, the second Indian Empire is here. See? I did it. It's going to be called the Second Indian Empire. There we go. I could do that with like China, the second Chinese dynasty if this one ever dies. I don't really know what I'm going to do with China though. I honestly have no idea. From here, we're going to leave Asia and head on over to Europe because yeah, this area has been kind of just silent in the episode, so let's do something. And that something has to do with the Norwegian kind of country, because they're going to go ahead and take the Faroe Islands. From here, they're going to use it to explore outwards because they believe Europe's not done yet. And they would be right, as they're going to discover the island of Iceland. From here, they're going to go ahead and they're just going to kind of take it and they're going to settle it pretty easily. And from here, they're going to begin to theorize of what could possibly be beyond this point. And yeah, this is, if you're not getting this, the beginning of the discovery of North America, which is definitely going to happen sometime soon, but nowhere near actually. So yeah, just keep this in mind. Anyways, we are coming on to the 20-minute mark here. So we're going to have one last event in this episode. In that event, I actually have no idea what I'm going to do, but I feel like we should head down into this region here because this region here is pretty bland. So let's create a brand new country. And this new country is going to be like a yellowish country because I don't feel like there's enough yellow in this region. So yeah, we're creating a new yellow. If I can figure out what kind of yellow I want to use. I think I'm gonna use like this color. But yeah, we're gonna see a new yellow country forming in this region. It's gonna be kind of built off the other South Chinese states in this area. And yeah, this new country will look something like this. I'm kind of hating how they look, but it's also not a bad look for what I have planned for this region. Even though I don't really have much planned, it's kind of like enough to where it's not like absolutely horrendous. But yeah, let's go ahead and give this thing a capital, which their capital is going to be up here in this area here. And that's actually going to do it for today's video, and I really hope you all did enjoy. If you made it this far into the video, make sure you do subscribe. It really shows your support. And yeah, liking the video also helps out a lot. It shows that you like this video, and you would like to see more of the content like this. And yeah, yesterday I uploaded a Wixo video, which is the day I'm recording this. Today I'm uploading a video, the day this is going up. There's going to be yet another episode tomorrow, and then another one Monday. So yeah, there's going to be a lot of Wixo within the next few days, and just that enough will not be enough to end this little arc here. This arc will be ending on probably Saturday, the 11th of April. So this arc's going to be probably the longest arc we have yet. So yeah, stay tuned because this arc is probably going to be, it's not going to have like a big ending because the next arc after this is kind of the second part of it because we're in the Dark Ages. There's kind of like the first half of the medieval times because the Middle Ages, of course. And yeah, the first half to I think like 900 is the Dark Ages, and after that, it's just gonna kind of become the rest of the medieval times. I cannot find like an actual name for the period. It's just Dark Ages as a part of the medieval times. So yeah, I don't really know if there's an actual definition for that time period. So this mini movie is probably going to be called the Dark Age, and then the next one's going to be called the Medieval Era. I don't know though. So yeah. Anyways, that's going to do it for today's video. I'm going to stop yapping now. And I really hope you all enjoyed. And I will see you all in episode 18 of What If Civilization Started Over.